Hello, my friends. Welcome to the metal shop. We're in the garage today. This is going to be a Jeep related video, but for right now we are on the workbench. And today I'm going to talk just a little bit about rust. Okay, now these are exhaust turbulators from my furnace. There are three of them, believe it or not. It's hard to see, in varying degrees of decomposition, for lack of a better term. These things were originally made of galvanized steel, and they're supposed to take the heat and start it swirling, and it's supposed to be more efficient. I replaced them. I had a friend of mine fabricate me some new ones, and I put them in. But I had these, and recently I've had some people commenting on my initial Jeep YJ video about the rust in the frame. And, I get comments like, oh, that's a beautiful Jeep, just replace the frame. And another guy, just another, zero content internet hero troll type guy, is like, oh man, the rust, you got taken, whatever you paid for it, it's junk, it's garbage. And it's clearly not. You're judging my Jeep from a grainy YouTube video, and you're arguing with the guy who owns the Jeep. It's whatever. I digress. It's silly. Anyway, these things in the three different states, and I kind of wanted to point out, we are going to go over to the Jeep and we're going to have a quick look at that as well. Now this one here was in the best shape of the three, and clearly, there's some bad rust here. There's some holes, some cancer, and it's completely deteriorated. And just for the sake of this video, let's pretend we're dealing with this portion right here, just this little portion that you can see. This is surface rust, okay? I could sand this. I could hit this with a Scotch-Brite or sanding, a sanding disc, sandpaper, and paint it, and this is fine. This little portion here is perfectly fine. It's thick enough, it's solid, and it would still do the job. Now this is what I'm saying. This is like my frame. Yes, it had surface rust on it. Yes, it had been painted and it had been had bed liner put on it and some kind of oil undercoating, and it hadn't been properly prepped, and the paint and the undercoating was flaking off in big sheets, but it only had surface rust on it, okay? Now this one here, now this is completely shot, and what you see here is this is actually much thicker. There's so much rust, it's flaking apart, and this could appear to still be good because it holds the same shape, and it appears to be thick, but I mean this since the rust has gotten in there and it started flaking and scaling, is basically twice as thick as this piece here. Now this is completely shot. If your frame appeared like this, you could think you have a solid frame, but if you hit this with a screwdriver hammer, it would go right through it. And the third and final part here is there's nothing left of this piece here. If your frame looked like this, your Jeep would break in half. And I have actually seen on Chevys, of course, where Chevy pickups, from my friend's garage that I frequent, where they've gone to raise it up on the lift and the things have started, splitting in two because the frame has done this and the frame has done that. But the frame on my Jeep, my friends, it's this. It was surface rust. And I've done a video where I scraped it and cleaned it in POR 15 and then top coated it. It's solid. I've got a good Jeep. And I did another video where I installed the side steps, the armor with steps, the side armor with steps, and I talked about how hard it was to drill through my frame because it's solid. All right. So anyway, let's leave the workbench here, and we'll actually go out and put hands on the Jeep. Cool. All right. So here we are, underneath the Jeep, with an old school drop light, and there's the frame right there. I mean, look at that. Should bash it with a hammer. That's as solid as a rock. Yes, look here. There's a spot I missed. That's surface rust. Like I said, it wasn't prepped properly, and someone pointed that out to me. This thing had been painted. It had like an undercoating on it, and it was falling off in big slabs, but it had done its job. It had protected the frame enough. So anyway, there. So flaking a little bit off there. And we can see it on the ground. Spot I missed here under the shackle. Again, this is a work in progress. My intentions are to get this thing up on a lift so I can do all the fuel changes fuel changes, all the oil changes in both the diffs and the transfer case, which you can just see there. That transfer case got the super awesome silver paint, which is now flaking off, you know, like I said, the kids' third grade art project. You can see the spacer there and the drive shaft from when it had the lift installed. But my friends, this is a solid Jeep. When I had to drill to put these side steps on, oh my God, I had to use an old style electric drill motor and had to push with all of my might to drill through this frame because it is thick, solid steel here. Again, so I want to get this thing up on the lift. I want to do all those fluid changes and then scrape places, you know, here that I missed, and on the inside where, you know, I just couldn't reach when this thing's up in the air. You know, I plan on doing that. So kind of cool. Get a quick looky-loo here. Quick looky-loo here under the Jeep. But yeah, you know, I just wanted to talk just a little bit about rust. And to the naysayers out there, the doubters out there, it's like, replace the frame. No, this has been a well cared for Jeep, and it was. And you know, the guy wasn't selling me a hook, line, and sinker type of story. This thing was completely restored. I said 5 years ago in the original video. That's wrong. It definitely wasn't 5 years ago. It was probably in the early 2000s. This is a 95, so it was probably 5 or 6 years old. And the guy stopped daily driving it and took it off the road. He paid for a complete restoration where they tore this thing apart. And that's when they put the bed liner on the frame, and they took the transfer case out and painted it. And they painted the intake and all this other stuff. All right, so there it is, solid as a rock. All right, my friends, thanks for watching. Thanks for indulging me in this tiny little mini rant about rust and about my Jeep YJ. All right, thank you for watching, my friends. Give me a thumbs up, give me the like, give me the subscribe if you are so inclined. Thanks for watching. Take care. Dirt. Bunch of dirt and crud falling off it. That frame's solid as a rock.